see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay, hey, yeah, ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Michael, we got Cardinals Arbetta, we got Brandon, we got Chad. What's up, Chad? Joshua, Lorenzo, another Michael. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys. Do me a huge favor. Smack up the like button here on your way in. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We are on the road to 19K. Cannot do it without you guys. Appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. If you guys can't tell, I'm a little under the weather. It has been since, unfortunately, Monday, so I might have to mute here and there to go ahead and do something that I don't want to obviously have on the live stream. But just FYI, a little under the weather, still trying to kind of get better to 100%. But ladies and gentlemen, right now we are getting ready for Week 9 Monday Night Football here for the Arizona Cardinals, and this literally is the season right here. Now, yes, you could argue the season was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago as well, but the Cardinals unfortunately continue to stack up losses, and it's not good. It's not good. The Cardinals need to find a way to make some sort of spark to a season that already feels kind of dead. Now, the Cardinals sitting at 2-5 right now. Let's be real with ourselves. 3-5 sounds so much better than 2-5. Now, 2-6 does not seem like you have a chance to get the season back on track. But realistically, right, and I'm talking about per the amount of games you have left, and you got 10 games left. And on top of that, you just saw the 49ers lose, right? Not too long ago this last weekend. So the 49ers just lost. They ended up going back down to the standings at 5-3. With the Seattle Seahawks are 5-2, the Rams are 5-2, and you got the Arizona Cardinals at 2-5. Realistically, we're talking about a 3-game difference, right? 3-game difference. Now, a lot of things are needed to have to work out for the Cardinals in order for them to climb back within the standings. But is it possible? There's a sliver of hope. Now, I think I saw something out there that the Cardinals have like less than like a 2 or 3% chance of making the playoffs. Yeah, but there's still a chance, right? It's like that whole Dumb and Dumber situation, right? So you're telling me there's a chance, right? But anytime like, I'm talking about playoffs, and rightfully so, right? Like the playoffs, are they attainable at this point? Well, I mean, there's a sliver of hope, but it all definitely seems kind of lost at this point, right? Like, let's be real. Let's be real with ourselves. But in order for us to continue to grind through this season that I don't think anybody really expected, with maybe the exception of like the 5% of people that are saying the Cardinals are always going to suck regardless of what the season is going to look like. I applaud you guys because I don't think I would have suspected the Cardinals to be here at this very moment at 2-5, but the Cardinals need to start winning. That's just point blank. They need to start winning from here on out. Now, the state of the Cardinals right now isn't good, right? The state of the Cardinals isn't good right now. Now, yes, Brandon, I see you there. Playoffs, right? I have to do it.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Yeah, you're right. That's what it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. I just hope we win a game, right? And I apologize for mentioning the playoffs, but like that's why we play games, right? That's why we play games to eventually, hopefully, get into the playoff and season or the postseason. And right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to be attainable. But like I said, I'm trying to keep a little bit of positivity at least for one more week, because right now, whenever you're hearing Jonathan Gannon or any of the coaching staff or anybody within this organization, they don't really seem like it's that big of a deal, right? Or at least Jonathan Gannon's coming out and basically saying the next week mentality, and that's fine. That's fine. But like so far, Jonathan Gannon has not proven to be a winning head coach in the NFL. Call it like it is, but he hasn't, right? So I get it. I respect it. I respect what Jonathan Gannon is trying to do, right? Making sure that things are not too high or too low. But sometimes you got to address the elephant in the room. You're 2-5, right? Some things need to change. Some drastic things need to change in order for you to say, hey, I tried everything I could to make the season come back. And right now, hearing Jonathan Gannon, it doesn't seem like he feels like anything drastic needs to change in the season at 2-5. So let's talk about this first, and then we're going to be diving into a couple different notes that I ended up hearing here from Jonathan Gannon yesterday when he spoke to the media. Now, if you guys do not know, Walter Nolan is practicing, and he looks good. Walter Nolan looks damn good, man. He really does. There's a couple videos floating around X/Twitter, and he looks really, really explosive. Now, yes, we're taking solace. We're taking a little moral victory, all the little places we can, and I get it. But it really just depends on what happens on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, right? That's what I'm really expecting. But in practice, he looks pretty darn explosive, so I'm excited about that. Bijo Ojulari, man, the myth, the myth. We haven't seen or heard anything from Bijo Ojulari other than yesterday. And what we heard is that the 21-day window is going to open up for Bijo Ojulari this Thursday, so tomorrow. That's cool. That's exciting. Let's see what the second round pick of 2023 is going to be able to amount to. Can he stay healthy? Because honestly, this is a crucial year for Bijo Ojulari. You're sitting on a second round tenure, right? In your year 3, and you're on a 4-year contract. So if you're not really proven that you could be available when the Cardinals need you, or productive when the Cardinals need you, or be able to stay healthy when the Cardinals need you, your time is ticking real quick. So although I'm excited to see another pass rusher come into this team, I'm trying to keep my optimism and hope to a minimum, right? But that's kind of where I am right now with this team. That's kind of where I'm at with this team right now, unfortunately. I don't know where this Arizona Cardinal team is. Jonathan Gannon doesn't seem like big drastic moves are going to need to be made, but hear me well. If the Cardinals don't win this game on Monday Night Football versus Dallas, you're sitting at 2-6. You have the trade deadline literally the day after. I hope there's some moves to be made for the Cardinals, and I'm talking about selling. Because if you're coming out here saying you're a buyer or just staying pat, you lost. If the Cardinals lose on Monday, they better sell some pieces off. If they win, you're 3-5, you're 2 games away from 500 with 9 games left. Yeah, I'm cool with being a buyer, right? Maybe not selling the house, and there's nobody really out there. Like, with the exception of probably Breece Hall and maybe Quentin Williams, like, I don't think the Cardinals are going to bring him in, but, like, those are, like, the big names out there. Trey Hendrickson, we all talked about him this last offseason. That all quiet down, but the Cincinnati Bengals are where they're at right now, right? So, would I still like Trey Hendrickson to come to the Cardinals? I mean, that has kind of cooled down, to be real with you. I know the expectation, like what you're going to need to give up to bring in an older guy in the state where the Cardinals are at. It's not, doesn't sound like it makes sense. But Breece Hall, on the other hand, he's like 24, 25 years old. That could be a very, very good asset for the Cardinals, regardless if you're sitting at 3-5 or any of the records, because that could be your running back of the future. Now, Trey Benson, right? Let's talk about Trey Benson. He's supposed to be the guy that has the keys handed to him on this organization from this franchise. He has not been able to stay healthy. Let's call it like it is. I like Trey Benson. I liked him in the 3rd round. He just has not been able to stay healthy for the Cardinals. He had some explosive runs here and there, but he's not been able to stay healthy. So I need and want the Cardinals to start thinking of this for the future. Whether the answer is the draft, bring in somebody else in, or you give a bigger workload to Bam, which as of right now is shown to have at least a little promise, right? Bam Knight, after the release of Michael Carter, they ended up happening on Monday. Per the depth chart, we got 2 running backs on this roster. 2. Bam Knight and Amari DiMercado. That's it. Now, there's some rumors out there that the Cardinals might re-elevate Michael Carter back. Okay, that's cool. But, like, is that really the solution on a struggling running back core that we can't really seem to fix, right? Well, Monty Ossenfort's the general manager, unfortunately, so maybe. Now, another guy that we ended up hearing from, Garrett Williams. Garrett Williams. He might be coming back sooner than we think. I'm excited about Garrett Williams. He's arguably our best quarterback, our veteran at 24, 25 years old. He's still really young. A lot of untapped potential superstar there when it comes down to Garrett. So I'm excited about Garrett Williams coming back. It's going to help us drastically. That usually means that Max Melton isn't left with your number 1, or Will Johnson, your rookie, won't be left with your 1. You can at least kind of switch him around. Now, yes, Garrett Williams is a nickel corner, but I have seen him play on the outside as well. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he's going to come in. So maybe Walter Nolan might be coming back here sooner than we think, and Garrett Williams as well. So there's that. Now, I want to move on over to the things that Jonathan Gannon ended up having to say yesterday. I'm not sure if you guys ended up hearing the press conference yesterday from Jonathan Gannon. He said a few things that I kind of want to touch on, right? One of them is when the media ended up asking Jonathan Gannon about, like, now that you reevaluated where you are at, right? Because the bye week, you got a lot of time. It's been a long time since we had Cardinal football. So the coaching staff, their job was to look at the film, look at the tape, and really kind of come down to the nooks and crannies of, like, okay, what can we do to make a change, right? What can we do to make a change on this team to start winning? Because right now, where the Cardinals are at, like I said, you don't want to be 2-6. 2-5 already is bad, but you don't want to be 2-6. That's a hole you really can't get yourself out of. And yeah, I get it. 2-5, you can't really either, but there's still some optimism in the air, at least per Jonathan Gannon, right? The players seem to be positive, right, in the right direction. But this is what Jonathan Gannon ended up having to say about anything that needs to be changed, or the things that they ended up kind of picking up on when they did their evaluations on the bye week. And this is what Jonathan Gannon had to say.
If we didn't look like we looked with the same record, then you could think about, making some big time drastic changes, which I've been a part of that too. I don't think that was the answer for us moving forward. So I just want us to play a little bit better, coach a little bit better, and play a little bit better.
So this all came down to the Cardinals lost all 5 games that were on a 5-game losing streak. All 5 games by 13 points. That's what this all came down to. So right now, that's the narrative of the 2025 Arizona Cardinals. They can't seem to win games that are close, right? They can't seem to close it out. We got really lucky in week 1 and 2 with the Saints as well as the Panthers. We got really, really lucky. Now, the 49ers game, Seahawks game, Colts game, Green Bay game, and all the ones in between. Those could have been different, right? If an explosive play was made, a field goal was made, a field goal was missed from the opposing team, right? Things could have been different for the Cardinals. But realistically, we're 2-5. Since Jonathan Gannon has done his homework, or at least done his evaluation, he doesn't feel like anything drastically needs to change, at least for him. He just needs things to be better, right? He needs the coaching staff to be coaching better, and the players to execute a little better as well. Now, he also says, and he always says, that it all starts with Jonathan Gannon, right? He starts with him in order for this team to be better. And that's fine. That's great. But like I said, I don't know if I have the confidence going into week 9, although I want to be optimistic about the Cardinals beating the Cowboys. And record shows, or at least Kyler Murray's record in Jerry World, it shows that we usually do pretty good at AT&T, right? Some reason Kyler Murray goes super sane in AT&T. I don't know what it is. I believe he's 9-0 in that stadium and 2-0 versus the Dallas Cowboys, if I can remember correctly. Like I said, mine's a little fuzzy right now, still under the weather. But yeah, I mean, all signs point to this is going to be a comeback that's going to really spark something with this Arizona Cardinals organization here in 2025. If it doesn't, woo, the alternative seems pretty darn brutal, right? It seems pretty darn brutal. And what does that mean? A lot of changes might be happening this offseason. Because after the Cowboys, we got a short week. Then we got the Seahawks that we can never seem to beat. And guess what? This is in Seattle. This is in Seattle. Then we got the 49ers, which already beat us this year by 1 point. So it's nothing like it's their world beaters or anything like that. But they beat us already. Then you got the Jaguars, which I still don't know what the Jaguars are, if I'm going to be real with you. After the Jaguars, you got the Bucks and the Rams, the Texans and the Falcons, the Bengals and the Rams again. So you got a pretty tough stretch coming your way. I miss the times when Arizona used to beat Seattle and Seattle beat us here. I miss those times because we at least were 500 with that team. Right now, I believe they're riding an 8-0 winning streak against the Cardinals right now. It's not a good feeling at all. So for some people out there that are feeling just tank the season, look for the draft pick, I see where you're coming from. but from those other guys that are saying, no, you got to keep winning, right? Because realistically, you got a lot of people fighting for their jobs. Gannon, Petzing, Rallis, I'll throw him in there as well. Kyler. Monty should also be in that list as well, although he might not get a good amount of heat, although he does deserve it as well. But there could be a lot of changes happening this offseason if the Cardinals don't win this game. And I know we've been talking about the same thing over and over again, but guess what? We're in a 5-game winning streak. So if you feel like, oh man, well, he's saying the same thing over and over again. Well, guess what? Every single week, there's nothing different. What else is there to talk about? The positivity, right? If the Cardinals were 3-4, if the Cardinals were 4-3, of course, positivity up the yin yang. But right now, we have a coaching staff that does not feel like there's much of a, what's the word? We don't need a big, impactful change. Just little things, little tweaks here and there, play better, coach better to start winning games. And boy, does this Arizona Cardinal team need to start winning games because things can get ugly. And they're already ugly, but it can get even uglier real fast, real quick. Now, another question was asked to Jonathan Gannon about, is there going to be anything different for Kyler? Because I don't know if you guys know, but there's been multiple reports by the big dogs, right? Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport. They all said that Kyler Murray is expected to come back, right? He's expected to come back off the foot injury. Now, what does that mean? Is he starting? Well, Jonathan Gannon came out and said, if Kyler's healthy, he will be the starter. Nothing's changed. So that kind of scrambles my mind around again. Okay, well, if he's healthy and he's ready to go, then he's most likely going to start in Dallas. And that's fine. But what I need Kyler Murray to do is play like Jacoby and elevate that. Because if you do, and you're passing the ball around to Michael, to Marv, to Trey, to every one of your weapons on this field, the Cardinals can very well potentially come out with a W here in Dallas. Now, this is the question that was asked to Jonathan Gannon about Kyler. Anything different going to happen in the game plan to help him out? And this is what JG had to say.
Part of the deep dive, anything more different you'd like to try or do with Kyler?
Part of the deep dive? No. I think we're in a, we looked at a couple things that might help him out, but that he feels maybe a little more comfortable with some things that we've been doing, but he'll be his normal self when he gets out there.
Okay, so he'll be in his normal self when he get out there. So one thing that kind of stuck out to me is that there's a couple little things that he ended up saying, right? That's going to try to help, I guess, Kyler Murray's skill set compared to what Jacoby Brissett's skill set was. Now, one thing I want to mention is the narrative out there that, oh man, now the Cardinals are starting to kind of open up the playbook, right? Now the Cardinals are starting to allow Jacoby to throw the ball down the field. Well, I don't really think that as a quarterback, you need to progress through all your progressions, right? On the field, right? So is there a little fault to Petzing for not believing in Kyler? And the reason why I'm saying not believing, because too many times have we seen the Arizona Cardinals behind the chains, 2nd and 15, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 15, whatever the situation is, right? If there's like a holding call or some sort of penalty that put us behind the chains, right? Too many times have we seen run, pass, or pass, run, right? Too many times we've seen that. And with the 2-game sample size that we've seen from Jacoby, they allowed Jacoby Brissett to throw the ball. And not just allowed it, but they called the play that's not a run. So whenever they're asked, do you believe in Kyler? Or Petzing's asked, do you believe in Kyler? And they say yes. I don't believe it for a second. I don't. 1 second, I don't believe that. Because you're telling me that you trust your backup quarterback on 3rd and 17 to throw the ball down the field over your franchise quarterback. And I know, franchise quarterback, we're using the term loosely, but he is. He's getting paid as it, so that's who he is as of right now. He's the face of the Arizona Cardinals organization. But if Kyler does start, change it up. Call more plays that are going to show if he can be that guy, right? If he can be the guy for the Arizona Cardinals to throw the ball down the field when we need him to. That's what I want to see from Petzing. Already, take the training wheels off. It's year 3. It's year 3 already. Enough with this dink and dunk BS. Enough with it. Throw the ball down the field if we're sitting at 3rd and 15, and if he throws a pick or if he throws a really good ball and it's converted, then we can start talking about that. But right now, it's obvious that 3rd and 17, who are they trusting? Kyler or Jacoby with the ball to throw the ball down the field? They trust Jacoby. They don't trust Kyler. At least with what we've seen so far. You want to change that narrative? You want to change that around? Then allow Kyler Murray, not allow him, but actually call a play to throw the ball down the field on 3rd and 17, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 10, and see if you can do it. Now, standing in the pocket. I need for Kyler to stay in the pocket. More times than not. It's okay. I'm okay if he's scrambled out of the pocket because he sees something and he needs to go in a certain. That's fine, right? That's why we brought him in. That's his skill set of being a quarterback was the fact that he was able to cause all these disruptive plays, improviser, right? That's why we have Kyler. That's why we brought him in. But you got to be able to stay in the pocket. You got to be able to step up in the pocket and deliver the ball and allow the play to develop. If you're not being pressured, don't run out of the pocket. Stay there. Take a hit. Because that's what quarterbacks do. You got to take a hit sometimes. And Kyler Murray already shown that he doesn't want to. Well, guess what? When you're running out, the play could have developed if you stayed in the pocket and delivered it. So, I need Kyler Murray to build off of what Jacoby Brissett did. Now, yes, the results are still the same. You're still 0-2 with Jacoby. But yeah, the results are the same. You're 100% right. But you're also paying one guy $9 million compared to another guy at 53 or 45 plus. So, as a franchise quarterback and getting paid like it, you need to be that X factor. It's as simple as that. So, Dallas, can the Cardinals win this game? Well, history shows, at least Kyler Murray being here, that it's possible. It's possible. Will it happen? I don't know. Because the defense on the other side of the coin as well, although I'm excited about all the moves that were made for the defense, let's call it like it is. Unfortunately, the defense in the fourth quarter has been horrendous. Hasn't been good. The defense has been like, where are you? But also on the other side of the coin, what we've been blaming Petsing of being conservative, Nick Rallis is doing the exact same thing. Conservative. Send some blitzes. Send some crazy packages. Use Buda Baker like we used them all last year, and we're not. There is a big difference between the defense in the first half compared to the second half. For some reason, they don't have that killer mentality in the fourth quarter. I don't know what it is. Well, they probably don't want to give up a big, deep bomb. That's probably what it is. But the film is out. Too many times have we seen teams literally dink and dunk, little quick hooks, quick little runs here and there. And they make way 5-6 yards, and then they blink of their eye, and they're at the 40-yard line of ours, and they could hit a field goal if they need to. We got to somehow find a way to get this defense back to the level that we can. They're depending so much on this front four to get there. So much they're depending on the front four, and that's fine if this was a proven front four. But guess what, guys? They can't in a consistent basis. Our best player is Josh Sweat, which amazing player. Our second best player is Calais Campbell at 38, 39 years old. Darius hasn't looked great. Let's call it like it is. Darius hasn't looked great. Dalvin Tomlinson was brought in to stop the run, and he's shown he's okay, right? Dalvin Tomlinson is not what I thought he was going to be, but he's also not horrendous, right? So I don't want to come out here and say, oh, Dalvin Tomlinson's bad. He's not great, but he's also not horrendous, right? But he's serviceable. Dante Stills, love the guy. Unfortunately, he's not really getting a lot of reps. Averages about 35%, 40%. Jordan Birch, third round pick. I loved him in preseason. Let's get a little bit more Jordan Birch. Baron Browning, really like him, but our best two defensive linemen right now is Sweaty J and Campbell. We're expecting a lot from Walter. That's true. We're expecting a lot from Walter Nolan coming back. And guess what? There's some people that are really nervous. There's some people that are really, really nervous that his career might blossom into what we're seeing with Darius. And I don't get it, man. I really don't. Darius has got the body, the freak nature, the size of who he is to be an absolute disruptor. And sometimes I forget he's on this damn team. Where is Darius Robinson? He's been hurt a couple games, missed a couple games. He came back. He's okay. 1 sack on the season. You're a first-round pick. Sometimes I'm not even looking for sacks, but pressure. Can you make some tackles? Something that we can say, okay, we got you in the first round. I love it. Because right now, we're going into week 9 of his year 2. He's got 5 solo tackles, 1 sack. That's it. That's it. Now, he's still 24. I guess we'll give him that. But it ain't going to cut it. We need more from a 6'5", 285-pounder. We need more. This defense, front 4, needs more. Let me get to this super chat. Arturo, what's up, brother? Appreciate the $2 donation. He says this, I'm going to the game. We better win. # Super Bowl Monday. Love to see it. Well, that's awesome, Arturo. Hopefully you guys have a good time. Hopefully there's some Cardinal fans that are going to be able to represent over there. I know they don't do it here at home. We've been outran multiple times, including this Packer game. We haven't looked good in terms of the fan base, but I don't blame the fan base on the other side of the coin. It is what it is. It's how the fan base is, and it's always going to be like that until we're seeing a winning product. But right now, we have back-to-back losing seasons. Right now, this is a losing season. Call it like it is. It's a losing season right now. So you got 4 straight years of losing football. The last year of Cliff, the first year of JG, the second year of JG, and now we're trending to another year of losing football. So you lose fans like that. You lose a fan base like that. And already we're such a transplant city that if you don't have the roots, or if you don't want to root for the underdog, somebody will gravitate to another team that's, guess what, that's winning. Got a lot of Packers fans here, a lot of Seahawks fans here, a lot of everything but the Cardinals here. And that's the fault of this organization for constantly putting losing seasons out there. That's on them. Chris F in the chat says, I hope they trade for Myles Garrett. The Cardinals are not trading for Myles Garrett. If they were 5-0, if they were 4-1, maybe. Maybe there's a sliver of a 1% chance they will trade for Myles Garrett. Right now, they will not trade for Myles Garrett. Why? Why? You're 2-5. You're going to give up multiple first-round picks when that literally is your future? There's no point in trading for Myles Garrett right now. And that's the same thing where I was feeling about Trey Hendrickson. In the beginning of the year, if you traded for Trey Hendrickson, that probably would have helped out our 4-4 for sure. But the Cardinals didn't decide to do that. The Cardinals decided to save money and say to themselves, we're going to be fine. We got Walter Nolan, already missed the first 8 games of the season, but it's okay. Sorry, 7 games of the season, but it's okay. Darius Robinson, putting a lot of faith in him. I don't know what these evaluations in training camp has been, but they haven't been good. It hasn't been good. Not good enough. John says, wish I could see the Cardinals play in Dallas. Well, Monday Night Football, you'll be able to see it. But yeah, Cardinals aren't trading for Myles. If they trade for somebody, it's probably going to be trading for somebody like Baron Browning, which, let's be real, now we're cool with it. We like it. He's a good player. Not a great player. Not a world beater. Not a needle mover on a consistent basis, but he's a good player. That's what I see Monty Ossenfort doing if the Cardinals win in Dallas. A player that we never heard of, but they see something in him that you can get on a cheap. That's what I see the Cardinals potentially doing. Also, keep in mind, you're talking about an organization that refused to do anything. You're talking about an organization that refused to do anything when James Conner went down. When Trey Benson went down, they refused to do anything. So what am I expecting? All of a sudden, they're going to be aggressive to get Myles Garrett? No, I just don't think it's going to happen. Oh, gotcha. My bad. That's on me. We got Monday Night Football, and literally the day after is going to be the trade deadline. If the Cardinals lose, they better be active in the trade deadline. There's some guys here that we can definitely very well potentially get some draft picks for. I'm already looking at Monty. Like, I'm not sure if you're the guy there either. Chris F in the chat says, "You're right, Mike, but that trade might bring life back to the season." You're talking about Myles Garrett? Well, I mean, yeah, it probably will. It probably will, but you're giving up multiple first-round picks, and you got uncertainty at your quarterback. Why would you do that? Like, if you trade for Myles Garrett, you're staying with Kyler Murray at least for another 2 or 3 years. I'm not okay with that. I'm sorry. For the last couple of years, I've been probably one of the most critical people on Kyler, and now it's starting to kind of come into fruition. And I remember saying this a while ago. Somebody in the chat ended up calling me a tool for it, and I remember it very, very vividly. But I said it to myself, I'm usually about a year or a year and a half of my takes to kind of things for people to actually start seeing it, right? To start seeing it unfold. Usually, that's what happens. I'm not going to say ahead of my time, because that does sound toolish, but usually when I'm starting to say something, things start to change in a year and a half. I'm not willing to give a first-round pick because I'm not staying with Kyler Murray. To me, I am not staying with Kyler Murray for another 2 freaking years. No, thank you. No, thank you. Now, that's just me. That's just me. But I'm not staying with him for that long. He hasn't proven anything to me that he's going to be able to win a big game at all. And we're in year 7 already. And a lot of people agree with what I'm saying. And if you don't know what I'm saying, check this out. If you guys haven't already voted on this poll, it's on my community tab. I highly recommend you do so, especially if you're a Kyler Murray stan and you want this to change. I ended up asking you guys on my community tab, do you still believe in Kyler? We got over 1,200 votes, and I get it. That's a mere fraction of this fan base, right? The fan base is probably made up of tens of thousands, right? So yes, it's a mere fraction of the fan base. But over 1,200 votes ended up voting, and I appreciate you guys. My question is, do you still believe in Kyler? 60% says no. Guess what? Out of 1,200 people, 60% is over 600 people. 750, probably around there. That's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. Dashing Hazel in the chat says, all you do is hate. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Seriously, Dashing, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Act like everything's okay? We're coming off a potential 4 straight seasons that we're losing. What do you want me to do? Serious question. What do you want me to do? Lie to you and tell you everything's okay because of QBR or EPA or all these other dumb metrics that mean nothing? To me, the number one thing that matters to me is winning. That's the number one thing. I can care 2 S's about anything else but winning. What do you want me to do? You want me to be positive about what? And I'm sorry, I sound like this because I'm under the weather. So it might sound like I'm yelling, but I'm really trying to have my voice come out because my voice is kind of going out. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? All I do is hate on him, man. Okay, what do you want me to do? Say everything's going to get changed after an epiphany came out of nowhere? He has not won a playoff game in 7 years. Now, no, yes, it's not all on Kyler Murray, but that's not enough for me to say he's an X factor, because guess what? He's not. We will never win with Kyler a Super Bowl here in the desert. Never. And if you're kicking the can down the line, guess what? You're just proving that you're part of the problem of the mediocrity that we're seeing in this state for years and years and years. And you're probably young, so I'm not going to really hammer you too much. But at the end of the day, this is part of the problem of what we're seeing from this fan base and this organization and this state. Why are we not a sports town? Because we allow a guy to potentially go into year 8 and said everything's okay. What? We blamed Cliff. Everybody was willing to completely blame Petzing, and we just saw it with our very own eyes in the last 2 games. We just saw it. This offense can work. No, yes, we haven't won a game, but this is the best our offense has looked in multiple years. I hear you, man, but it's like a little bickering. What do you want? I don't know. But what do you want? Right? Okay, so you agree with me, right? But it's the little bickering and the SA comments towards. It doesn't matter if this is Kyler Murray. This doesn't matter if it's Carson Palmer. It doesn't matter if it's Matt Leinart, Max Hall, anybody under the sun. I would critique anybody who is the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals if they're not getting the job done. The unfortunate part is that Kyler Murray, which is a favorite player of a lot of people on this channel and Cardinals organization as well, they don't understand that I'm willing to separate my fandom. I'm willing to separate my fandom to critique and to cover a team to tell you what I feel like is not working. There's some people that can't because they feel like that is not, you're not a fan if you critique. Well, that's not the case because at least that's not the way I do it. The way I do it is if I see something wrong and something's not working, I'm going to call it out. Just what it is. It absolutely is just what it is. So there might be another podcast that will lie to you, and that's fine. You might want to join on there and hopefully when everybody's, hunky-dory again, I mean, that's up to you. That's up to you. You listen to whatever you want to listen to, right? That in the end of the day, that's the decision that we're all making. I have my own podcast to listen to. I'm not gonna be real with you. I don't listen to any sports stuff because honestly, it's too much of my mental health. But I'm not gonna be the guy to lie to you. I apologize. I gave you my positivity in the beginning that if there's hope, the season can turn around, but it takes everybody, right? But as a quarterback and you're getting paid the most that you are, or the amount that you are, we expect a lot from you. I'm sorry. It's what it is. It's the way the real world works as well. The CEO, the manager, the supervisor, that's just the way that the world works. Sorry if it's a little too much for people. Well, that's just the way it is. Let me give a quick shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube, and we're going to continue the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. Let me give a quick shout out here to Sleeper, proud sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Pick on stats for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, and fantasy points, and more for up to 100 times a payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you can win big. Use promo code AZSF, and you can get up to a $100 deposit match on your first initial deposit. Terms and conditions apply. Everything will be in the description below of the video. Let's continue the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. The state of the Arizona Cardinals. We do got another super chat coming our way. We got John. What's up, John? He says this, Mike doesn't hate Kyler. He just uses his F&I's elite ball knowledge required for this reference. If you know, you know. Appreciate you, John. Shout out to my guy Jesse here of Roundtable Sports, aka NFC West Roundtable. Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't think people quite understand that when people are saying it's time for a quarterback change, somebody out there, out of the hundreds of thousands or maybe tens of thousands Cardinal fans out there, they think to themselves, because they can't think past this season. When people say they want to move off of Kyler, they're not saying Jacoby Brissett is the future. Right? They're not saying Jacoby Brissett is the future. They're saying it's time to see if we can get somebody else to try to win us a game or two. To try to win his games. Scratch what I just said. To try to win his games. Because right now it's not working. Claymore in the chat says, forgot the other 52 and the coaching. Oh, no. No, I talk about them all the time. It's just you probably aren't clicking all those videos. How many times have I talked about, we're talking about some big-time changes if the Cardinals don't win. And that's Gannon, Petzing, Rallis, I'm throwing him in there as well because he's a JG hire. And Monty, we talk about him all the time. It's just maybe you just don't click on that video. Maybe you click on the video that you want to come rushing to Kyler Murray's aid, right? That's probably the difference. Because how much content do I have on this channel? Ain't nobody watching every single video with the maybe exception of a small few, right? We talk about him every single podcast. Every single time do I mention that Jonathan Gannon's job might be on the damn line. Drew Petzing. Oh, you're going with JG. Why do we make not a big deal about it here on this channel? Is because they're 1-1. Ain't nobody keeping Petzing if Gannon goes. You cut the guy at the top, he's going too. Rallis might have a little saving grace, but it might be a new coaching staff. So, for the people out there saying that I forgot, no, I don't. I talk about it all the time. We literally 20 minutes before talked about how this defensive line needs to be better and how this defense in the fourth quarter needs to be better. But hey, we don't want to talk about that though, right? We want to snip the 2 minutes or the 10 minutes or 5 minutes of the podcast that's an hour long, and we want to focus on that. We just talked about the defense needs to be better, literally. But what you got to do, you got to win games. Merrick in the chat says, get a new QB and let him develop 1 year. Yeah, I'm cool with this. 100%. Even if you do the Jackson Dart situation, right? You throw Russell Wilson in there for 4 or 5 games. You feel like you need a spark to save your season. You throw him in there. I'm cool with that as well, right? But if they want to have him develop for a year, that's fine. That's okay. And guess what? I don't think it's going to be a rebuilding year if the Cardinals don't do well. They have a team that can win games. And it's proven that they can win games. It's proven that they can win games. They're with every single game. Every single one of these games, they're in it. With the exception of probably one, and that's the Seahawks game, where they did kind of crawl their way back in the fourth quarter. But a flag here and there that came to our favor, if that didn't go to our favor, that could have been a blowout of a game in the Seahawks game. But, yeah, I'm cool with this, 100%, if that's what the Cardinals decide to do. But it's time, man. It's time. Claymore in the chat says, need a new general manager in the nose. I agree with this too. I agree with this too. See, Claymore? We're on the same page. Let me say it again for the guys in the back, right? Let me say it again for the guys in the back. I don't believe in Monty. In 3 years, he has not given us a Pro Bowler in the first round. He's had 4 first-round picks. 4. Paris Johnson Jr., Marvin, Darius Robinson, and now Walter Nolan. He hasn't given us a Pro Bowler in any of those drafts. And those talking about just first-round picks. Those are just first round. I not to mention your second and third and fourth rounds that you have. He's not giving us a single Pro Bowler. I don't believe in Monty either. I'm going to be real with you. JG, I don't mind him, but his shtick is wearing thin real quickly. The way he does things is wearing out really quickly. And I get it. He needs to remain a certain composure to be a coach. He doesn't want to get too high. He doesn't want to get too low. Okay, that's fine. But guess what? You're 2-5 in year 3 of a rebuild, and you haven't amounted to anything. You're not a winning head coach. You're just not. Things need to change. Or it might be your job at the end of the year as well. Lorenzo in the chat says, 3 years, no winning record equals rebuilding. 4+ years, losing record equals coaching and management issues. Yeah, well, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Don't worry, guys. Ojulari is coming back to save the season. Yikes. Love the humor there, Jay. Love the humor. Yeah, I mean, now that you guys are all here and actually listening to what we're saying, I'm talking about the Kyler Murray stance, right? There's nothing real positive to say about the season. Let's call it like it is. And that's everybody. All 53, all coaching staff, including every single player on this roster. There's nothing really positive to talk about. I mean, Will Johnson, yeah, you look really good as a rookie. I'm excited about you. And I am. I'm not trying to be facetious and I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm really proud and I'm excited about that. But I'm not trying to celebrate in year 3 of a quote unquote rebuild a second round pick that's going to be potentially be our best cornerback maybe in a year or two, which is cool. I'll talk about it then. But we got 2-5 right now. We're 2-5. Ain't enough, man. Ain't good enough. It ain't good enough. I don't want to hear. Yeah. But unfortunately, he's got to speak to the media. He's got to speak to the media, unfortunately. Juan in the chat says, Bet, I see the Rams getting aggressive for him. Who are you talking about? Javier says, I totally disagree. Gannon is not. But keep in mind, the only thing I said positive about Gannon is I like him as a person, right? That's the only positive thing I said. If he goes, he goes. I can care less. If he goes, he goes. And hear me well. If you're 2-6, he's most likely going to go. So you want to queue up the coaching videos? Well, we'll queue it up when we're 2-6. We probably could have queued it up at 2-5, but per what they are saying, they probably think there's a chance because they got 10 games left. Aiden in the chat says the Cardinals front office management is the same as the product on the field, safe and conservative. They're so content. Yeah, agree, Aiden. 100% agree. And it's very unfortunate. It really is. Because when Monty Ossenfort came back, and I will be one of the first to admit, I jumped on the let Monty cook train way too damn quickly. But guess what? I was just excited to get rid of Steve Keim. I was just too damn excited to get rid of Steve Keim. But guess what? We got a guy that's probably, I'm not going to say worse, but maybe, right? As a general manager, you need to be able to do 3 things: trading, free agency, and drafting. Although I like Monty's drafts, like we said before, he has not drafted a single Pro Bowler at all. His 3rd round picks that were in last year's draft, when we had 4 third-round picks, and we decided to trade back to get Max Melton, Trey Benson, Tip Ryman, Elijah Jones, Isaiah Simmons, who just lost his job again, or lost his job to Mijo. Hey, what'd you get? Who'd you get? Who'd you get, Monty? Traded back for all these picks to get nobody that's as impactful. No, nobody impactful there. I was really hoping for Trey Benson. I really was, because in college he looked really, really good. It's not good, man. Not good. Is it Inuk? It's too late to worry about the playoffs. Let's focus on the draft. Send Kyler and Drew somewhere else and start checking out quarterback Oh yeah, well, we're gonna queue up the mock drafts. We're gonna queue up the mock drafts 110% if the Cardinals lose this game. We're gonna queue up the mock drafts 110%. We're queuing it up. Mock draft season if the Cardinals lose on Monday night. And don't tell me I need to be more positive about a season. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear anybody say it. But if this doesn't tell you anything, you at least have half of the fan base that is done. That is done. If this doesn't tell you anything, we had over 1,200 votes. And like I said before, if you guys haven't already voted, it's on my community tab. If you go to my channel, there's a section. It says home, videos, short, live, and posts. If you go to the posts, scroll down a little bit, there's it right there. Question: do you still believe in Kyler? Got over 600 people, and I get it. This is a fraction of the fan base. I get that. But over 600 people is telling you right now they don't believe in him anymore. That's probably why we're not having fans going to the games. Who believes in Kyler still? A lot of younger kids. Who buys the tickets? Their dads. Who buys the tickets? Their parents. I truly believe it's a portion of the older generation or the people that got the money, right? The ones who actually buy tickets for their family. Those are the ones that are answering truthfully. Now, for the kids' sake, the kids are going to be kids, right? Teenagers, that all they know is Kyler. I think they're the majority of the people that are really, really. Because guess what? You're telling me, well, where are all these guys in the stadium when we're outrun by the freaking Packers or any other big fan base? It's already proven that there's not a lot of people going to these games. I mean, it's still 60% filled, like 70% filled, 75, maybe even 80, depending on the your opponent. But there's a big we don't really care anymore. Aiden in the chat says, I fear if we fire Gannon, Monty, and move off of Kyler, there's no plan. And that's the problem. There isn't. That's the problem. There isn't. That's the problem. There isn't. And that's why I wanted the Cardinals to start thinking about this last year, right? But of course, people are looking at me and be like, oh, you're negative. You're so negative. You want to get rid of Kyler Murray. Why? His QBR rating is so good, Mike. Oh, my God. Ugh. That's the main reason why I was talking about this last year. You need to have a quarterback plan for the future. If SHIT hits the fan in 2025, at least we have some sort of plan. And guess what? The Cardinals don't. That's the problem with this organization. They don't plan. And when I'm making a video a year or a year and a half before, like I mentioned before, call me a tool if you want to call me a tool. But usually when I'm kind of out on something, it takes about a year and a half for it to kind of unfold, unfortunately. The NFL right now, they don't want to not have a franchise quarterback. They do not want to have a franchise quarterback. Because what sells? The name. It doesn't matter that the fan base is miserable because we keep losing. It doesn't matter. Money. That's what matters. Kyler Murray sells. Jacoby Brissett doesn't sell. Kyler Murray sells. That's what's unfortunate, the problem with the NFL. They're making a lot of their decisions based off of what they have on the books, when they should really evaluate who's the better quarterback that can actually win you games. That's what they should be evaluating, and they're not. They're not. Let's call it like it is. They're not. Michael in the chat says, I don't believe Bidwell gives a SSS about winning only. I agree. Claymore, receivers have to say that if they want the ball. Maybe I'm just, let's go with Victor. Victor says, Jacoby was a wake-up call. This man showed up to spread the ball. Yeah, 100%. And here's the problem, man. Like, and I get it, right? For the people out there that were skeptical about me saying this last year, or hell, maybe even me saying this before when Kyler Murray ended up coming back. To be real with you guys, I wasn't impressed with Kyler Murray when he came back in year one. Now, yes, he played 8 games. He had to get his footwork fixed, right? Kyler Murray needed to get his footwork fixed, right? I wasn't impressed with Kyler Murray. I wasn't impressed with Kyler Murray in his second year, especially after the bye week. So for a person that's been clamoring for quite some time, and if you guys were on those live Big Red Pods with my guy Mythic, you all know that we had a lot of debates back and forth about Kyler Murray. It's just now we're finally seeing a very capable quarterback that can run an offense efficiently compared to your Dobbs, your Toon, your Desmond Ridder, that those guys aren't good. They're not good. So, not a hater. Just a little ahead of my time. Tool. Tool. It's all good. I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I'm wrong a lot of times. But I'll take my W's when I can. Claymore in the chat says, what Jacoby did was prove that no matter what. No, that's not what it proved. Well, if that's what this proved to you, Claymore, then that's okay. That's fine. What it proved to me was, yeah, the same result happened, right? You're still 0-2. But guess what? The offense functioned a lot better. A lot better. Do you remember when people were talking about Zay Jones being a bum? Michael Wilson is not a number 2. He's a number 3 wide receiver at best. Greg Dortch sucks. Remember all those narratives? Remember all those? That the only 2 reliable guys we had out there was Trey and Marv. Remember that? No, that's not there anymore. Because guess what? Jacoby Brissett ran this offense efficiently. And if this is all that it proved to you, you're telling me we, as an organization, is spending $30+ million more on a quarterback that can't be different than a guy that's getting paid $8 to $9 million? Well, that seems like an organizational flaw to me. Because although, if you want to look at it that way, where regardless of what quarterback's there, it's all going to be the same result. Well, I saw a better offense. I saw a much more exciting offense, more explosive plays. I saw a quarterback that was willing to stay in the pocket and deliver the ball to Zay, to Michael, to Dortch. And on top of that, it was fun. It was fun watching this product on the field. But let's worry about the 0-2. Okay, that's fine. Let's worry about the 0-2. Okay, that's fine. Well, why don't we worry about the 8-22 on Kyler Murray's record in the division? Why don't we worry about Kyler Murray's record as a starting QB? Now, we want to talk about that, though, no? Right? We don't want to talk about that. Go a little deeper. Go a little deeper. You're paying somebody $30+ million for the same result. Look a little deeper. $30+ million you're paying somebody for the same result. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Let that sink in. Let's go with Wind. What's up, Wind? All I have to say is Tom Brady wasn't a first-round pick, and people need to get over the first round. That's fair. That's fair. All right, brother. Have a great one, Corey. We're about to close up shop here right now. Let's read a couple more comments. Steven in the chat. What's up, Steven? Steven says, laugh aloud, just a season when we won Kyler made the offense win, and he made us look good. So wait. Just last season when we won what? What did we win with Kyler last year? 6-4 before the bye? What did we win last year with Kyler? It made the offense win, and he made us look good. Maybe clarify a little bit. Because I think this maybe all comes down to your interpretation, which it varies. It varies from people to people. So maybe my expectations or my standards are just a little higher. That might be what it is. So, but my question, Steven, is what did we win with Kyler last? When we won, Kyler made the offense win, and he made us look good. Interesting. I don't get that. Colts aren't slouches. No one beats them. We could have. We were close. Evan in the chat. Colt. Oh, we just read this one. Same one. Cardinals are going to lose. We'll see. Let's keep positivity in the air. Victor in the chat says, also, Jacoby stayed in the pocket, got knocked up. Yep, 100%. What about the 14-27? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Clarify. Aiden in the chat says, everyone wants to forget Kyler Murray's performance versus the 3 Panthers is a must-win game. Yeah, hey, that's true. Remember that? Yeah, nope. Amnesia. Mega Man in the chat. K1 runs offense 20 points. JB runs the offense 25 points. And either way, we're still losing. Close games, not all offense. I do believe that the defense needs to be better, too. 100%. Defense needs to be better. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Last year, we had a winning record before the break. Yep, we were 6-4. Then we never showed up the second half of the season. Where is the proof that it will change? Well, I mean, unfortunately, the dreaded bye weeks always are not our best friend. That was fun losing. You should change your YouTube to Jacoby Sports Fan. Well, we're talking about that we had fun watching the game. Oh, if I said I had fun losing, that's not what I meant. I had fun watching the offense is what I meant to say. I don't think I said I had fun losing, but it's probably one of those things that people are interpreting a specific way to fit a specific narrative, and that's completely fine. Let me clarify. I didn't have fun losing, but I did have fun watching the offense, spreading the ball around. Looking better and still losing. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, that's why the Cardinals are going back to Kyler, right? Because, yeah, he's 0-2. True. That's why in the beginning of the stream, I was saying that, okay, you're going to use Kyler. Cool. Have Kyler build off of what Jacoby did. $30+ million more. Paying him. You got to play like Jacoby, stand in the pocket, deliver the ball. That's what I want to see from Kyler. Win in the chat says, I want the Cardinals to win, but I don't want to give Kyler the credit. Is that from me? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying like that's like me? Or are you saying this from your perspective? Curious. Because I give Kyler Murray credit when we win. Like I said, probably just don't watch every single video, but curious win. Let me know here in the chat. But yeah, you're going to have to put up some mad points in this game. You're going to put some mad points in this game in order for you to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Over 30 for sure. Maybe even over 33 to win this game. Defense needs to come out and show out. But they got a good offense. Javonte, Pickens, Ferguson has come out and played really, really good. CD. And Dak ain't no slouch either. Snoop says, Kyler will prove himself on Monday night. Perfect. If he does, I will give him his credit. And if he doesn't, Snoop, come back. Come back. Come back. If he proves himself and runs the offense is what we want to see, then we'll give the credit. But if he doesn't, and it's a more dink and dunk, then you're going to hear more. This is what it is. Just what it is. Please call back Bruce. Oh, 100%. This is my favorite, the bet. And I feel so damn bad. Like, I remember, like, I wasn't making content at the time. And we'll end off in this note. I felt so bad. Like, now thinking about it, hindsight, it's very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate what this media and fan base ended up doing to Bruce Arians, to the point where they made him retire and unretire and win a Super Bowl with the Bucs and Tom Brady. But I remember it still. I still remember the Cardinals media and fan base. They all wanted him to get rid of the special teams coach. Was it Amos? Is that what it was? Amos? He wouldn't do it. He would not do it at all. Forced him to retire. And we've never had a coach like Bruce, Uncle Bruce, in a bit. So we'll see. We'll see. Bruce turned his back on the Cardinals. Yikes. All right. Well, and I think that's one of the main differences. I feel like he was forced out. But you can look at it this way. It's probably the same people that were thinking that P2 had a problem with the fan base. He didn't have a problem with the fan base. He had a problem with Steve Keim. But like I said, opinions, decisions. Bruce Arians still, to the day, the best head coach this Arizona Cardinals team, organization, has ever had. Bar none. He was forced out. He didn't want to fire his guys. Cardinals made him. He retired, came back, and we know the history from there. But if you want to see he turned his back, hey, you do you. You do you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's close up shop right here. You guys are all absolutely amazing. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Wrong song. Here we go. All right, y'all. Appreciate it. Everybody on the chat, thanks for being here. If you guys haven't done so already, smack up the like button here on your way out. Appreciate every single one of you for being here. Hopefully we get a win on Monday Night Football and we can change the positivity to this season. Things aren't looking so good, but with the win, It all cures all, ladies and gentlemen. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cardinals.